Welcome to Lesson 4, Announce Your Offer. Now, Step 4 is the first time you absolutely make a presentation of what you have to offer. It is the A in Enhance Your Sales. Announce your offer. Isn't it interesting that you're halfway through the selling cycle and you haven't presented yet? That's the way it should be, quite frankly. What tends to happen in most selling situations? Most salespeople have the urge to purge. They want to tell you everything about their product, how wonderful it is, how wonderful their company is, how wonderful they are as a salesperson. The fallacy in this is that typically the prospect is not ready to hear any of that yet. And so what kind of happens here is it bounces off their anti-salesperson force field. When you examine the market, then notify the field, by making that first contact, you started to establish some rapport, and you get them at ease. As you proceeded to harvest the facts, you now found out what they need and what they want to hear from you. It's now possible for you to give a good quality, them-oriented presentation. That presentation needs to be surrounded with benefits. It's benefits, benefits, benefits. It should be focused on what's in it for them. You need to supply the benefits as to how this product, this service, or this cause is going to help them. It's just that simple. What is the direct benefit for taking action you desire them to take? This is a great place to develop a feature advantage benefit presentation. More importantly, benefit advantage feature. To give you a brief explanation, a feature is merely a thing. The advantage is something good about that thing. And the benefit is what the thing delivers to the customer through the advantage. We're going to examine feature advantage benefit and benefit advantage feature far greater in a future lesson. This type of presentation is about designing the orientation of the presentation on the customer's potential benefit by taking action on your solution. You want to help them get to where they want to be in the shortest time possible. Also, it's very important to understand that as you're making the presentation, that ultimately the prospect is buying you first. If they haven't bought you, you've got a problem. Because people buy from those they know, like, and trust. And they buy when they're ready. Well, if they don't know you, and they don't like you, then they don't trust you. And if they're ready, they're not buying, at least from you. So again, it's awfully important to understand that when you're announcing your offer, they're buying you first. Your efforts have led to this presentation, and believe it or not, every situation is different, yet they're similar. Because all of the prospects are human. I'm guessing that is. Human beings have a very similar set of habits. It's just the way it goes. You need to find out as much as you can about this certain individual and help them achieve the comfort they need to take the action requested. As you present, you want to make sure that you focus them on the opportunity that exists. And ultimately, you want that to entice them to want more information. Again, you don't ever want to sell anything to anybody ever, any time. But you do want to create an environment for them to buy from you often. It's creating the environment that becomes very appealing to the prospect. Because when they buy, they've made the choice. There's no cognitive dissonance. There's no internal arguing between the left brain and the right brain whether they should have made this decision because they made it. It wasn't being sold to them. They chose to buy. So again, you want to constantly entice them to want more. The key to a quick and easy sale is giving just the right amount of information to create action. No more, no less. This is how you can get so tremendously efficient in the selling process. You want them to desire you to give them information. This is kind of like when a spouse entices you to believe something by making it your idea. The beauty of heart-centered selling truly is the prospect's idea to take action. This is what makes this so powerful. You want to constantly create curiosity to get the prospect asking for additional presentation. You want them to grow the trust in you so that you are the one that they seek their solutions from. You need to understand their world. You need to demonstrate your product. You need to show them the value and how it will benefit them. You need to discover the steps necessary to get them truly comfortable with this process. Now, while doing all this, you also have to understand that you know far more about your offering than they do to this point. So it's really important that you identify where the prospect is during this entire presentation. In essence, you have to stay on their level. If they're very technical, you can be a little more technical throughout your presentation. And if they're not quite as technical, you need to be less technical. You need to get down to their level of expertise. You have to even be more benefit-laden to the less knowledgeable. On the other side, you can be more technical to those who are more informed. It's just the way it works. Throughout your presentation, you can test to see if and where the level of your prospect is as far as absorbing the information you're sharing with them. You want to make sure that you're constantly evaluating the situation. We also want to take a look at body language, and we want to really look at their facial expressions. It'll give you a hint as to what's going on. When you're announcing your offering, you have to be watching for both verbal and nonverbal signs that your prospect is giving you. Body language speaks volumes. Do they have their arms crossed? If they do, they're potentially defending themselves. They're covering themselves up and they're protecting themselves from you, the big bad salesperson. Well, again, you want to get them at ease. You want them to be comfortable. This is why you're coming from your heart in the first place, because you're here from a place of service. Typically, you understand when they feel at ease because their arms are no longer crossed. Now, is it possible that their arms are crossed because they're cold? Absolutely. So you have to be sensitive to the difference in body language. Many times if they're sitting down and leaning forward, they're showing you they're interested in paying attention. And conversely, if they're leaning back or glancing away, you know what? You've got some work to do because they're not really paying attention. Again, we'll address this in greater detail in just a little while. Ultimately, you are part of the whole selling equation. Your motions, your gestures, your positioning convey a positive and warm, pleasant demeanor. Do you have open hands? Open eyes? Are you making eye contact? Are you sitting beside them as opposed to across from them? Again, take away confrontational positioning and make it a more comfortable choice to talk with you as you're making the presentation. Also, if it's possible, because again, we want to address all three learning modalities, the visual, the audio, and the kinesthetic, use visual aids where it's possible because people are typically visual in nature. Again, we all receive information in all three facets, but typically many people have to see what's going on while you're saying it to them to really connect. They can hear you, but when you come from your heart and they can feel you, but many times using that visual aid will help you significantly be able to get the message across far better. When it comes back to the design of the presentation itself, we want to make sure that we capture their interest and intention, that we work with them, that we're in tune with their needs. We use simple language. We bring this in a fashion that they can understand it. We demonstrate it. We give them time, interest, and knowledge. And we are the authority that has the information to solve their issue. I wish it was as easy as being able to give you a cookie-cutter presentation. Unfortunately, it's not. This is where I have literally spent hundreds of hours with clients helping them achieve a presentation that would allow them to put their best presentation and their best foot forward the vast majority of times. Well, thanks again for being here for Lesson 4, Announce Your Offer. It's time to get back into action, so take the worksheet that was included in this lesson and start to fill out the appropriate information to start you moving forward, understanding how to create those features, advantages, and benefits that'll help you with your presentations going forward. To continue to learn more, you can always go to www.scottschilling.com to read any of my blogs, check the various resources that are available to you, or simply grow within the heart-centered selling community. Until next time, this is Scott Schilling saying so long for now. Have a great day.